what's going on, guys? So, just watched. I've been watching a whole bunch of movies. So, just watched Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 1. And I actually, for this to be the, 100th iteration of we got so many versions of Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earths that you would think they don't have pretty much any way to retell the same story without it being the same tropes, and they do. They find an interesting way to tell this story in a different way that I haven't seen before, and to put that into perspective, this movie follows the Flash. That's as you can see, he's like front and center of the cover here. And that's because the movie actually follows the events of Crisis on Infinite Earths from his perspective. And when you watch the movie, you start to see why this is a part 1, because you can tell there's a lot more, especially with how the movie ends. There's a lot more to it. But it is basically Crisis, as you know before. I don't really have to explain it to you. Any comic book fan that knows the events of Crisis on Infinite Earths knows that the movie is basically about the anti-monitor and the antimatter wave destroying the Earths, and but the way how they tell it here is that the Flash is alerted to this by way of a elderly man who may or may not be a DC character. If you haven't seen it, I'm gonna leave that up to you to find out who that elderly man is. But this elderly man somehow has mystical powers that should help you figure out who he is. And he basically sends the Flash on this weird mind trip to basically see how everything unfolds. And through this mind trip, we see past, present, future, and this is where it kind of like, even though it was an interesting way of telling the story, it's like a negative and a positive for me, because they tell the story through different points in time, and then you jump back to these different points in time and for different parts and different intervals. It's like you pick up, like he's in one point, he fights a Mazo. Right, and a superhero gets hurt, and then they jump to another point, and then they jump back to the battle with Amazel to see how that keeps unfolding. We see, and we also jump. One of the points that they jump to is like a break from that fight where the Justice League is formed, and then they jump back to see how they was using that plan. Then they jump this, and they jump. It's all these different jumps. And then the reason why I say it's a positive, because eventually it all comes together and you can see where it was going to. But at the same time, it took me out of the story and out of the movie a little bit, because I'm starting to get confused here. This is too many jumps and there's too many cuts. I can't keep up with everything. Why is this even relevant to the story? And then it's like, it was parts of the jumps that was like, they could have saved time here with that. The other negative I would say about this movie is that we didn't, at least I guess because it's a two-parter, maybe that's why, but we didn't really get to see too many different Earths. Like, it seemed like for this to be the Crisis on Infinite Earths, we didn't get to see too many different versions of Earth. I mean, we did get to see different versions of superheroes from different Earths, but we didn't get to see too many different Earths. We did, you can see on the cover, we did get the Crime Syndicate Earth. So we did get to see the Crime Syndicate Earth. We did get to see Earth where, and this pertains to Batman here. Shouts out to the fact that it took me a minute because I recognized Batman's voice. I'm like, why do he sound like Jensen Ackles? Batman sounds like Jensen Ackles. For those who don't know, Jensen Ackles played Dean Winchester on Supernatural. And I went to go look up the cast, and it was Jensen Ackles. So I was like, oh, he finally get to be Batman. That's a reference. And if you're not a Supernatural fan, it's a reference to the episode where he said it was the Rabbits for the episode where he was like, I'm Batman. And it sounded like, yeah, you're Batman. But he actually got to be the voice. I remember he also did Red Hood. So he got to be two different Batman family members, one being Batman, and he also did a voice for Jason Todd / Red Hood. So I'm like, oh, okay, that was a nice surprise. But overall, the movie was good. I enjoyed it. I don't know if I got any more to add. The movie, I did enjoy this weird interpretation of how to tell the story, but also at times it did take you out of the story. But other than that, it was cool. Everybody get to see their abilities. Batman, by the way, I was going with the Batman thing was there was an Earth where they introduced at one of the jumps we get to see Batman interact or Bruce interact with Barry, and we get to see a young Dick Grayson, and then we got to see an Earth where Dick Grayson is Robin, and Batman's like, and we actually get to hear Batman say, "That seems very irresponsible of me." Batman making Dick Grayson become Robin or helping him become Robin. Overall, it was a good story. I mean, it was a new way to tell the story, old story. It is a two-parter. We do get Harbinger. Harbinger, you'd be surprised who was Harbinger in here. I don't have nothing else to add, so I'm gonna give this. I want to give it a 6.5, but I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 7 out of 10. No, I'm gonna give it a 6.5. Yeah, I'm gonna stay with a 6.5 because I feel like when I said that, I felt like did it really? When I have to question did it really deserve a 7? It was a 6.5. So 6.5 out of 10. Big ups. If you're a fan of DC Comics and you're a fan of the DC animated movies, it's very much worth checking out. I checked it out just because I'm a fan. But if you enjoy my reaction to this, you know what to do. My review, you know what to do. Bam! Hit that button right there for all of my reviews. And if you enjoy the video so much, you want to support the channel, you know what to do, guys. Hit those buttons. And as always, any one of these videos with more amazing content. But don't anywhere, I got another movie review for you guys. So, peace. Also, more Kombat gameplay too.